The great alien council chamber was calm. It was always calm. The chamber was larger than any city humans had ever built. The floor was smooth and dark, reflecting soft blue light from floating holograms above. Tall alien figures stood or sat in wide circles, their shapes different, their skins glowing in colors humans had no words for. Some had eyes, some did not. Some breathed air, others did not breathe at all. At the center of the room floated a massive hologram of space. Tiny lights showed star systems. One small, dim system pulsed slowly at the edge of the map. That system was human space. A cold, artificial voice filled the chamber. Prediction complete. Human defeat expected within 6 standard hours. The council reacted with quiet satisfaction. One tall alien leaned forward, folding long arms across a narrow chest. Another let out a low sound that meant amusement in its species. Others remained silent, but their body language showed the same thought. This war was already decided. Humans were new to the galaxy. They had arrived late, noisy, and emotional. Their ships were small, their fleets were few. Their technology worked, but it lacked elegance. They relied on numbers, not wisdom. Speed, not patience. The council had watched them grow for centuries. They had also watched them fight among themselves. That history alone was enough. A floating panel expanded, showing human fleets forming near the edge of their system. Long rows of metal ships hung in space, gray and plain, without decoration. They looked heavy, almost clumsy. An alien strategist spoke. Their formation is inefficient. Their energy output is unstable. Their shields are uneven. Another added, they have not requested negotiation. This suggests fear or confusion. The council agreed. Humans always talked when they were afraid. But this time, the human channels were silent. No messages, no demands, no warnings, only movement. The human fleet slowly pushed forward. Not fast, not aggressive, just forward. This caused a small ripple of curiosity among the council. One observer seated farther back tilted its head. This being had watched many wars. It had learned to respect patterns. Humans were breaking one. Why do they advance without speaking? The observer asked. The council leader answered calmly. Because they are emotional. They act before thinking. The observer did not respond. The hologram shifted again. Alien fleets appeared. Massive, layered formations filled with sleek ships that curved like living creatures. Their weapons glowed faintly, already charged. Their shields shimmered like liquid glass. Compared to them, the human fleet looked fragile. A timer appeared beside the hologram. 6 hours. That was generous. The council allowed the timer to remain visible. It was a form of theater, a reminder of superiority. The first alien fleet moved. Human sensors would already be screaming. Alien weapons outranged human systems by entire planetary distances. The council expected humans to retreat, or scatter, or beg. Did none of those things. The human ships stayed in line, did not change formation. They did not speed up, did not slow down, simply continued forward. The council leader raised a limb slightly. Silent order. Alien long-range weapons powered up. Energy flowed through cannons designed to crack moons. Targeting systems locked onto human ships. Still, no human message came. The observer felt something tighten inside its chest. Delay the first strike, it said. Several council members turned. Why? One asked. The observer spoke carefully. Humans are not reacting as expected. The council leader studied the hologram. Human ships glided forward, steady and calm. No fear signals detected. An analyst confirmed. No panic, another added. The council leader paused, then lowered its limb. Very well, he observed. The timer continued. 5 hours and 53 minutes. The distance between fleets closed. Human ships began emitting faint pulses, not weapons fire, not shields. Data. The council frowned. What is that signal? The leader asked. An alien technician replied. It is structured, repeating. Complex. Is it a message? No. It does not match any language pattern. The observer leaned forward. It is calculation, it said. The council leader stiffened. Explain, they are measuring, mapping, studying every variable. A short silence followed, and soft laughter rippled through the chamber. Too late, one council member said. It cannot calculate faster than our systems. The observer did not laugh. The human fleet reached a marked boundary in space. A line the galaxy recognized as the start of contested territory. Human ships stopped. Perfectly. Every ship halted at the exact same moment. Not a fraction of delay. The council chamber grew quiet. That level of coordination was not easy. A new human signal appeared. It was brief. One line of simple text translated instantly. "We have arrived." Nothing else followed. No threats, no speeches, no emotion, just fact. The council leader responded with authority. "You are outmatched. Retreat or be removed." No reply came. Instead, the human ships did something unexpected. They powered down. Their weapons went dark. Their shields lowered. Their engines reduced output. From the council's view, it looked like surrender. Several council members relaxed. "Predictable," one said. The observer felt cold. "Humans do not surrender like this," it said quietly. A technician interrupted. "Council leader, new readings. What now?" "The human ships are not powerless. Their energy is being redirected inward." "Inward to what?" The technician hesitated. "We do not know." The council leader stood. "Prepare first strike." Weapons flared across alien fleets. At that exact moment, the human ships moved again. It's not forward, not backward. They changed. Plates shifted. Mills opened. Structures unfolded with mechanical precision. Entire sections rotated and locked into new shapes. The human fleet transformed. The observer's breath caught. These are not warships, it realized. They're platforms. The council leader snapped. "Platforms for what?" The answer came without words. Space itself seemed to ripple. Invisible lines snapped into place, connecting human ships in a massive geometric pattern. Light bent. Sensors screamed. Data streams overloaded. The alien weapons fired. Energy crossed the void. And vanished. Not blocked. Not deflected. Gone. Every beam disappeared the moment it touched the space around the human fleet. The council chamber erupted in alarmed voices. What happened? Where did the energy go? Recalculate. The observer stared at the hologram. The space around the humans was no longer normal. They have changed the battlefield, it said. The council leader demanded answers. Technicians worked desperately. Where weapons are being absorbed. Converted into what? No one answered. The human fleet sent another message. Again, only one line. Calculation complete. The timer flickered. 6 hours remained on record. But for the first time, no one in the chamber looked at it with confidence. The observer felt a deep, quiet fear, not panic. Understanding. Humans had not rushed into battle, had not reacted emotionally. They had arrived early. They had waited. And now they were ready. The council leader looked at the hologram of the human fleet, calm and perfectly aligned. For the first time in its long existence, it wondered if the prediction had been wrong.
Oh.
The observer leaned back slowly. "This war," it said, "will not last hours." The chamber fell silent. And the timer continued to count down. The alien council chamber was no longer calm. Where silence once ruled, quiet fear now moved between the towering figures. The massive hologram still showed the human fleet, steady and unmoving, locked into its strange geometric pattern. As the space around them bent like glass under pressure, the timer still floated beside the image. 6 hours. But no one believed it anymore. "Recalculate," the council leader ordered. Multiple alien systems activated at once. Ancient prediction engines, battle simulators, and probability cores began running new models. Streams of light flowed across the chamber as data filled the air. The results arrived quickly, too quickly. "Council leader," a technician said, its voice strained. "The outcome is unclear." The leader turned sharply. "Unclear is not an answer. Our systems cannot predict the next stage. Human variables are exceeding acceptable limits." The council reacted with anger. "That is impossible," one member said. Their technology was measured. Their limits were known. The observer spoke again, calm but firm. "You measured what they showed you, not what they prepared." The hologram zoomed in on the human ships. Their surfaces glowed faintly now, not with heat, but with controlled energy flow. Invisible forces moved between them, forming a silent web. Alien sensors struggled. "We cannot see inside the field," an analyst said. "It blocks scans." probes, and even quantum observation. The council leader felt something it had not felt in centuries. Uncertainty. The human fleet sent no further messages. They did not threaten. They did not move. They waited. The alien fleets adjusted position, pulling back slightly, spreading wider to avoid another surprise. Commanders requested permission to deploy heavier weapons. Denied, the council leader said. We do not strike blindly. That decision shocked many. Alien doctrine was simple. Overwhelm first. Ask questions later. But this enemy was different. The observer studied the timer. Only minutes had passed since the first exchange. And yet the entire balance of power had shifted. A sudden alert rang through the chamber. Human energy output rising, a technician announced. How much? The leader asked. The technician hesitated. Beyond our scale? The council stared. That is not possible, another member said. The observer leaned forward. They are not increasing power, it said. They are finishing preparation. The human fleet finally moved again, not all at once. One ship at the center of the formation adjusted position. It rotated slowly, exposing a structure hidden within its hull. The structure was smooth, circular, and dark, like a closed eye. Alien sensors focused on it. What is that? The council leader demanded. The answer came through data rather than words. A burst of energy rippled outward. It's not destructive. Informational. The alien systems that touched it began to fail. Screens flickered. Calculations froze. Entire subsystems shut down without damage. They are disabling us, a technician shouted. Not attacking, disabling. The council erupted in confusion. Counter it? We cannot. Signal adapts faster than our defenses. The observer spoke softly. They studied us first. The human fleet had not rushed to battle. They'd watched, measured, learned. Now they acted. Alien ships at the edge of the formation lost propulsion. They drifted helplessly, weapons silent, shields gone. No explosions followed. No casualties. Just silence. Why are they not destroying us? One council member asked. The observer answered, because this is not a war to them. It is a demonstration. The council leader clenched its limbs. Send a message. Demand explanation. A transmission went out. This time the humans responded. The message was simple. We predicted this outcome. Nothing more. The council leader stared at the words. You predicted our response? It asked aloud. The observer corrected it. They predicted this war. Alien fleets continued to lose systems. One by one, entire formations went dark, drifting like lifeless shells. Human ships moved carefully around them, precise and controlled. Still no destruction. Still no panic. The timer ticked. 5 hours and 41 minutes. The number felt meaningless now. Council leader and analyst said, voice shaking, our long-range fleets are requesting retreat. Denied, the leader said sharply. We cannot allow weakness. The observer turned slowly. Cannot allow extinction. That word froze the chamber, explained the leader said. If humans wish to end us, they already could, the observer said. They are showing restraint. It means they want something else. What could humans want? The leader asked. The observer did not answer, because the human message arrived again. This time longer. You calculated war duration. You assumed fear. You assumed disorder. Those assumptions are wrong. The message paused, then continued. We do not fight for dominance. We fight to end threats quickly. The council felt a chill. Human ships advanced again, not toward alien worlds. Toward the center of alien command space, straight toward the council's own defensive line. Stop them, the leader ordered. Alien fleets tried. Weapons powered up, but systems failed before firing. Shields collapsed without damage. Engines shut down cleanly as if obeying an external command. The humans passed through, unchallenged. The observer watched in awe. They are not breaking our defenses, it said. They are bypassing them. The council leader looked at the hologram, watching the human fleet cross distances that should have taken hours and moments. How it demanded. Yes. The answer appeared in the data. Human ships were not traveling faster. They were shortening space itself. A technology so controlled and precise that it did not tear reality apart. It folded it. The council chamber shook as the truth settled. Humans were not reckless. They were careful. Careful enough to build weapons that did not destroy worlds. Careful enough to plan wars they never intended to prolong. A final alert sounded. Council leader, a technician, whispered, "Human fleet entering direct range of this chamber." The leader stood tall. "We will not kneel." The observer rose as well. "They are not asking you to." The hologram shifted. The human fleet stopped. Directly outside the council's defensive perimeter, no weapons charged. No shields raised, just presence. A final human message arrived. This battle can end now. The council chamber fell into chaos. Arguments erupted. Some demanded surrender. Others demanded resistance. Old pride clashed with sudden fear. The observer watched them all, and then spoke. They ended the battle the moment they arrived. Everything since then has been proof. The council leader looked at the timer. 5 hours remained. But the war was already over. The question was no longer who would win. The question was what humans would decide to do next. The human fleet waited. Patient. Silent. Unmoving. And for the first time in galactic history, the alien council understood something terrifying. Humanity did not need time to defeat them. They only needed permission to stop. The alien council chamber was filled with noise. Not the sound of weapons or alarms, but voices. Sharp, angry, afraid. Species that had ruled star systems for thousands of years now argued like frightened children. They are at our gates. We still have reserve fleets. Our pride will not allow surrender. The council leader stood in the center, unmoving, letting the chaos burn itself out. Its many eyes focused on the hologram that showed the human fleet, calm and perfectly still outside the defensive perimeter. No attack, no retreat, just waiting. The observer stood apart, watching both the humans and the council. Waiting always meant control. "Silence," the council leader commanded. The chamber quieted slowly. "They have crossed our strongest defenses without resistance," the leader said. "They have disabled our fleets without killing a single crew." "This is not chance," a council member spoke. "Then it is humiliation," the observer corrected it. "No, it is intention." The human fleet sent another transmission. Not long, not dramatic. "You're ready to speak." The council hesitated. Some demanded rejection. Others demanded immediate negotiation. Fear pushed against pride from every direction. The council leader finally nodded. "Open the channel." The air above the center of the chamber shifted. Human figure appeared as a simple hologram. No armor, no symbols of rank, just a calm presence. The human spoke clearly. "We will be brief," the council leader responded coldly. "You invade our space and speak of brevity." The human did not react. "We did not invade. We arrived where you planned to destroy us." That sentence struck harder than any weapon. The observer leaned forward. The council leader stiffened. "You were warned," it said. "Your defeat was calculated." "Yes," the human replied. "That calculation is why we came." The council reacted with confusion. "Explain," the leader demanded. The human folded its hands calmly. "Your prediction assumed we would fight like you." The council leader narrowed its eyes. "You fight wars for dominance," the human continued. "For territory, for pride, do not." The observer listened closely. The human went on. "We fight wars to remove danger." The chamber grew quiet. One council member scoffed. "Then why bring such force?" The human answered without pause. "Because danger should be ended fast." The observer felt a deep understanding settle. Humans did not seek long wars. They avoided them. The council leader spoke again. "You disabled our fleets, you crossed our defenses, you could end us, why stop?" The human looked directly at the leader. "Because you are no longer a threat," the words echoed. Several council members reacted with anger. "You decide that?" one shouted. The human did not raise its voice. "Yes," the hologram shifted. Data appeared around the human figure. Visuals of alien fleets, weapons, command systems, and political structures filled the air. "We mapped your military structures centuries ago," the human said. "We studied your responses to fear, loss, and uncertainty. We watched how long you hesitate before changing strategy." The council stared in disbelief. "You spied on us?" the leader demanded. The human shook its head. You broadcast everything. You assumed no one would listen quietly. The observer felt something like shame. The human continued. When you predicted our defeat, you made one final mistake. The council leader waited. He gave us time. The human fleet outside shifted slightly. Reminder of power held in restraint. We do not need ours, the human said. We never did. The council leader felt its authority slipping. What do you want? It asked. The human answered honestly. Peace that lasts. Laughter broke out among some council members. You arrive with weapons and speak of peace? The human nodded. Yes, because peace enforced by weakness does not last. The observer spoke for the first time. What makes your peace different? The human turned its gaze to the observer. We end wars before hate has time to grow. Silence returned. The observer understood. Long wars bred revenge. Short wars ended memory. The human raised one hand slightly. We will leave your space. Our ships will withdraw. The council leader blinked. You will leave? Yes, and if we rebuild, if we prepare again. The human's answer was calm. Then we will return. No threat was needed. The message was clear. The council leader straightened. You believe this ends the conflict? It ends this battle, the human replied. What comes next depends on you. The hologram flickered, then faded. The human fleet outside remained for a few moments longer. Then, slowly, they began to withdraw. Not in haste, not in fear. In confidence. Alien systems started coming back online. Fleets regained limited control. Weapons remained disabled, but life support and communication returned. The council chamber erupted again, but this time with relief and disbelief. They are leaving. They let us live. They could have erased us. The observer watched the retreating human ships. They were never here to kill us, it said. The council leader lowered itself into its seat. What were they here for? The observer answered quietly. To teach us. The timer still floated beside the hologram. 5 hours remained. The council leader stared at it. Then, with a sharp gesture, it dismissed the display. No more predictions, it said. The chamber slowly emptied. Some council members left in anger, others in silence, a few in deep thought. The observer remained. It replayed the human words in its mind. End wars before hate has time to grow. The observer understood something terrifying and beautiful. Humans did not love war. They feared it enough to end it quickly. As the last human ship vanished from sensors, the observer recorded a final thought for the archives. Humanity was not aggressive. Humanity was efficient. And the galaxy would never forget the day a war predicted to last hours was decided in minutes, not by destruction, but by control. The human fleet disappeared from alien sensors. For several long moments, no one in the alien council chamber spoke. The silence felt heavier than battle. The war was over, yet nothing felt finished. Outside the chamber, messages flooded across alien space. Commanders demanded explanations. Governors asked for reassurance. Entire civilizations waited for answers that did not exist yet. The council leader stood slowly. Seal this chamber, it ordered. The doors closed. The light dimmed. This encounter will reshape the galaxy, the leader said. We must control the narrative. The observer watched the council closely. They were afraid of stories, more than weapons. Reports from distant sectors arrived. Alien fleets that had been disabled now functioned again, but their crews were shaken. Systems had been shut down without damage. No sabotage, no hidden traps. Humans had left nothing behind. That frightened the galaxy more than destruction ever could. A council analyst spoke. Other powers are asking questions. They want to know how humans crossed our defenses. The leader answered coldly. They will not be told. The observer disagreed. They already know enough. Across the galaxy, rumors spread faster than light. Human ships that ignored weapons. Human fleets that folded space with care. A war that ended before it truly began. Smaller civilizations panicked. Larger empires grew quiet. Military doctrines were rewritten overnight. The idea that wars could be ended without destruction was dangerous. It challenged everything the galaxy believed. On distant worlds, alien generals stared at star maps and wondered how many hidden human ships were already watching them. The Observer reviewed archived data. Human history was violent, chaotic, and painful, yet it was also filled with moments of restraint. Ceasefires, withdrawals, treaties signed after terrible losses. Humans learned through suffering. And they remembered. The Council reconvened hours later. The atmosphere had changed. Its members demanded preemptive strikes against human space. Others called for immediate peace treaties. Fear split them apart. The Council leader listened, then raised a limb. Humans achieve strategic dominance without occupation, it said. That alone proves they are not conquerors. A member snapped back. Or it proves they are patient. The Observer spoke calmly. Both can be true. A new transmission arrived. Not from humans. From another major alien power. They demand to know why we allowed humans to leave. The Council leader closed its eyes briefly, because stopping them would have destroyed us. That truth was hard to accept. Across the galaxy, human space remained quiet. No victory broadcasts. No threats. No celebrations. Human fleets returned to normal patrol patterns. Civilian traffic resumed. To the galaxy, it looked as if nothing had happened. That disturbed many. A civilization that hid its victories was unpredictable. On a distant outpost, an alien captain reviewed sensor logs again and again. The human fleet's energy pattern was burned into memory. They were not improvising, the captain whispered. They were executing a finished plan. The Observer received intelligence updates. Human diplomats quietly contacted neutral systems. Trade offers were extended. Medical exchanges proposed. No mention of the battle. The message was clear. Humans did not want fear to spread. They wanted stability. The Council leader studied these developments. They fight wars fast, it said. But they build peace slowly. That required confidence. Confidence born from strength. A Council member raised a question. What happens when another power challenges them? The Observer answered. And the galaxy will learn again. Far from alien space, in human-controlled regions, the battle was barely discussed. Military leaders reviewed outcomes, then archived them. Civilian populations were told only that a threat had been resolved. Life continued. That restraint came from hard lessons. Humans remembered wars that lasted generations. Wars that poisoned worlds and minds. They had decided long ago, never again. If war came, it would be brief. The Observer began writing a classified report, title, Human Strategic Doctrine. It summarized everything. Humans avoided conflict until necessary. When forced, they struck at systems, not people. They removed the enemy's ability to fight, then stopped. They left room for peace. The Observer paused. This doctrine was not weakness, it was discipline. A sudden alert broke the calm. Long-range sensors detected movement near human space. An unknown fleet. Not alien Council forces. Something else. Smaller. Fast. Aggressive. The Council leader frowned. Who are they? Analysts responded quickly. A fractured empire. Known raiders. They have attacked human trade routes before. The Observer felt tension rise. How will humans respond? A member asked. The Council leader watched the sensor feed. The raider fleet advanced boldly. Human ships appeared moments later. No warnings. No speeches. No messages. The human fleet repositioned with perfect coordination. Space bent. The raiders fired first. Their weapons vanished. Within seconds, their engines shut down. Shields collapsed. Command systems went dark. The entire engagement lasted less than 3 minutes. No explosions, no deaths. The raider ships drifted helplessly. Then human vessels departed, leaving disabled ships and a clear message. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. The Council leader leaned back slowly. They did not even announce themselves. The Observer nodded. They did not need to. News spread instantly, not through propaganda, but through observation. A new truth settled across the stars. Humans did not threaten. They demonstrated. Civilizations recalculated their future. Some reached out in peace. Others pulled their fleets back. A few hardened their defenses and prayed. The Observer finished its report with a final line. Humanity does not seek war. Humanity seeks resolution. The Council leader read the line, and approved it. "Archive this," it said. "For future generations." The observer looked at the star map one last time. Human space glowed softly, not as a warning, as a boundary. Cross it, and war would end quickly. Stay beyond it, and peace was possible. The galaxy adjusted. Old empires weakened. New alliances formed. And somewhere beyond the stars, humans continued quietly preparing. Not for conquest. For the moment someone forced them to act again. Because if history had proven anything, it was this. When humans arrived, the battle was already decided. The galaxy did not return to normal. It tried, but it failed. Every major power replayed the same recordings again and again. Human ships folding space, weapons vanishing, entire fleets disabled without a single explosion. Battle predicted to last hours ended before fear could even spread. For thousands of years, war had followed patterns. Humans broke them all. In the alien council chamber, new representatives arrived. Not warriors, not generals, but thinkers. Economists, cultural analysts, strategists who studied behavior instead of weapons. The council leader watched them gather. "This is not a military crisis," it said. "It is a psychological one," the observer agreed. Humans had changed how the galaxy felt about war. Smaller civilizations began sending quiet messages toward human space. Requests for trade, offers of friendship. Humans answered slowly, carefully. They did not rush diplomacy the way others rushed war. Some alien empires did not accept the new reality. One such empire gathered its fleets in secret. They believed the human display had been exaggerated. No power could end wars so cleanly. Pride still blinded them. The observer learned of the movement and brought the data to the council. "They are preparing a test," it said. "A test of humanity," the council leader replied. The fleet crossed into human-controlled space without warning. This time the galaxy watched live. Human sensors detected the intrusion instantly. Human ships responded within moments. There was no dramatic buildup, no broadcast, no threat. Space folded. Human vessels appeared between the invaders and their escape routes. Weapons fire from the intruding fleet vanished on contact. Engines shut down. Command signals failed. The entire fleet was frozen in space. Time elapsed for minutes. Then something unexpected happened. Human ships opened communication channels to every disabled vessel. A single message repeated: "You are safe. Power will return after you leave." Minutes later, systems came back online. The intruders fled. No pursuit, no punishment. The galaxy was stunned. The message was clear. Humans could destroy you. They chose not to. That choice weighed heavier than fear. In council space, debates ended. No one argued for aggression anymore. The council leader addressed the assembly. "We must accept that humanity now sets the pace of conflict," a member asked quietly. "And if we resist?" the observer answered. "Then we become examples." That word carried terrible weight. Across the galaxy, military spending slowed. Research shifted from weapons to defenses and diplomacy. Borders stabilized. War became too short to profit from. It upset many old powers. Human influence spread without expansion. No colonies seized. No flags planted. Just gravity. Cultural gravity. The observer reviewed intercepted human internal communications. They were calm, focused. Humans did not speak of enemies. They spoke of prevention. They remembered what endless war had done to their own past. Worlds burned, generations lost. They had decided that no one else would repeat that mistake if they could stop it. The council leader requested a direct human dialogue, not a negotiation, a conversation. Humans accepted. The meeting occurred in neutral space. No fleets, no weapons, no displays of power. So only representatives. The human speaker stood calmly. "You want to understand us," it said. "Yes," the council leader replied. "You changed everything in minutes." The human nodded. "That was the point." "Why minutes?" the observer asked. "Because time turns violence into hatred," the human answered. "Short wars save memory." The observer felt that truth settled deeply. The council leader asked the final question. "What happens when someone forces you into a long war?" The human replied without hesitation. "Then they will not survive it." There was no threat in the tone, only certainty. The meeting ended peacefully. Afterward, the galaxy slowly adjusted. Children on distant worlds learned new lessons. War was no longer glorious. It was brief, quiet, controlled. Humanity became a measuring stick. Not because they ruled, but because they restrained themselves. The Observer completed its final archive entry. Title: The Weight of Minutes. It described how a species once dismissed as loud and emotional had reshaped galactic behavior without conquest. The final line read, "Humanity does not win wars by lasting longer. Humanity wins by ending them." The Observer sealed the archive. Outside, stars burned quietly. Somewhere in that vast darkness, humans continued their lives, working, building, watching, waiting, not for the next war, but for the moment someone forgot the lesson they had taught the galaxy in minutes. Years passed. The galaxy remembered minutes. Every major star map now marked human space with a simple symbol. Not a warning sign, not a border of fear. A reminder. No fleets gathered near that region anymore. Patrols adjusted course long before crossing human lines. Trade lanes curved gently away, not from panic, but from respect. Humanity had not expanded. That fact confused many. Empires grew by force. Powers rose by conquest. Civilizations measured success in territory and tribute. Humans did neither. They remained where they were, yet their influence spread farther than any empire ever had. The alien council chamber still stood, but it felt smaller now. The council leader often stared at the star map, watching how often human space appeared in reports. Always calm, always stable. The Observer remained part of the council, though its role had changed. It was no longer asked how to win wars. It was asked how to avoid them. One session, a younger council member spoke. "Why do humans never threaten us?" The Observer answered calmly, "Because threats invite defiance. Certainty invites caution." That lesson had reshaped galactic politics. A crisis erupted far from human space. Two ancient empires clashed over a resource-rich system. Fleets mobilized. Weapons charged. Billions stood at risk. The galaxy braced for another long war. Humanity responded. Not with fleets. With a message. It was sent to both sides. Simple. We will observe. That was all. The war plans unraveled instantly. Both empires slowed. Then stopped. Then withdrew. No one wanted humans to observe too closely. The Observer recorded this moment carefully. Humans no longer needed to fight to end wars. Their presence alone was enough. Still, not everyone accepted this new order. A fringe coalition formed in the shadows. They believed humanity's restraint was a weakness disguised as strength. They planned something bold, something final. They built a weapon meant to shatter space itself. It's not to defeat humanity, to force them into a long war. The Observer detected the project late, very late. The council panicked. "We must warn the humans." "They already know," the Observer replied. Human ships appeared near the hidden facility before the weapon was completed. No warning, no delay. Space folded. The facility's power systems shut down instantly. The weapon never fired. The coalition fleets tried to respond. Their ships froze in place. Human vessels surrounded them. Still no destruction. A single human message broadcast across every channel. "This ends now." The coalition leaders begged for mercy. Humans granted it. The fleets were disabled. Crews were returned home. The facility was dismantled piece by piece. No revenge. No punishment. Only removal of threat. The Observer watched the recording in silence. "They could have erased them," a council member said. "Yes," the Observer replied. "But that would create memory. Memory created hatred. Humans avoided that. Human space remained unchanged. Cities grew slowly. Technology advanced quietly. Children learned history without glorifying war. They were taught a simple rule. If conflict comes, end it fast. Not out of cruelty, out of care." The council leader invited the Observer to speak before the full assembly one final time. "What is humanity?" the leader asked. The Observer stood. "They are not peaceful," it said. "They are not violent. They are disciplined." The chamber listened. They learned what endless war does. They decided never to repeat it. A council member asked. And if someone forces them, the observer answered with certainty, then the galaxy will grow quiet very quickly. That truth was accepted without argument. Years later, a monument was built on a neutral world, not by humans, by the galaxy. It marked the moment everything changed. There were no statues of warriors, no ships carved in stone, only words. A war predicted to last hours ended in minutes. Not by destruction, by control. Human representatives attended the unveiling quietly. They did not speak. They did not claim credit. They left early. The observer watched them go. For the first time, it understood something deeply human. Humans did not seek to be remembered as conquerors. They wanted to be forgotten as enemies. As centuries passed, humanity became a constant, not a ruler. Balance. New civilizations rose and fell, borders shifted, cultures changed, but one rule remained. Never force humans into war, because if you did, the war would end before you understood it had begun. The Observer recorded its final archive entry. Humanity does not fear war. Humanity fears what war becomes when it lasts too long, so they end it. Quickly, cleanly, and then they leave. The Observer closed the archive. Stars continued to burn. The galaxy moved forward. And humanity watched quietly from the edge of space. Not as conquerors, not as gods, but as the species that taught the galaxy one simple truth. If war must happen, end it fast, so peace can begin.